You just bought what seemed like a decent car at a fair price. Everything looked fine during the test drive. Fast forward a few months, and suddenly your transmission is acting up. Hard shifts, grinding noises, or worse, complete failure. Sound familiar? Buying any vehicle comes with risks, but some cars and SUVs come with transmissions that are practically destined to fail. These aren't just minor inconveniences either. We're talking about expensive repairs that can drain your bank account faster than you can say, tow truck. Mechanics recognize these vehicles the moment they roll into the shop, and they know exactly what's coming next. Let's dive into 13 vehicles whose transmissions have become infamous for causing headaches, emptying wallets, and leaving owners stranded at the worst possible moments. That affordable used Elantra sitting on the lot might look tempting, especially with its low price tag. But there's typically a reason behind those bargain prices, and with this generation, it's the transmission. The 5th generation Elantra equipped with the 6-speed automatic has developed a pattern of failing at inconvenient times. Over 300 owners have reported nearly identical issues on RepairPal, with failed speed sensors being the primary culprit. One owner described their experience. Shifting from park to drive took about 2 minutes before the transmission gave up completely and required full replacement. The root cause involves faulty speed sensor wiring and malfunctioning solenoids that lead to delayed shifts or total loss of drive capability, particularly as the transmission heats up during normal operation. Some drivers have experienced situations where the transmission locks up entirely, revving excessively at stops before failing altogether. The timing makes it even worse. Many of these failures occur just after the 100,000-mile warranty expires, leaving owners facing bills for clutch packs, torque converters, solenoids, or complete transmission replacement. That bargain price suddenly doesn't look so appealing anymore. Chevrolet attempted to revive the Blazer nameplate with sporty styling, modern technology, and an aggressive design that turned heads in showrooms. Then, owners actually started driving them regularly. The 9-speed automatic transmission in this model shifts erratically, as if it can't decide which gear belongs where. Low-speed shifts come across harsh and hesitant, while highway driving introduces an unsettling shudder that makes passengers wonder if something's about to detach from the vehicle. Consumer Reports didn't hold back, awarding the 2019 Blazer the worst reliability rating in its entire segment, with transmission issues leading the charge. Mechanics have identified torque converter clutch problems and moisture contamination in the transmission fluid as primary concerns, causing performance degradation even at relatively low mileage. When left unaddressed, this shaking gradually destroys the torque converter, clutch packs, and valve body, eventually resulting in repair bills reaching several $1,000s. Jeep's reliability has taken a nosedive in recent years, and the 5th generation Cherokee exemplifies this decline perfectly. The ZF 9-speed automatic transmission installed in these models is a mechanical disaster. Owners deal with constant gear hunting, abrupt shifts, hesitation, and even stalling at low speeds. Some Cherokee owners needed complete transmission replacements at just 35,000 miles. The cruel twist? The replacement transmissions often developed the same problems. Jeep recalled over 60,000 vehicles to address a calibration issue that could cause stalling or loss of drive. They updated the software, owners returned to the dealership, and the transmissions remained jerky and unpredictable. Consumer Reports ranked the Cherokee near the bottom of its class, with mechanics pointing to fundamental flaws in the valve body design and transmission control module programming. This isn't a situation where fresh fluid solves everything. The entire system is problematic from the ground up. Subaru introduced its first Linertronic CVT in 2010, marketing it as a breakthrough for smooth performance and improved fuel economy. Reality delivered something entirely different, a transmission that struggled with real-world driving conditions. Owners report juddering, slipping, and that distinctive rubber banding sensation, where the engine revs climb but forward momentum doesn't increase proportionally. Consumer Reports flagged these models with low reliability scores and issued recalls for premature bearing wear. The most frustrating aspect involves Subaru's initial claim that the CVT fluid was lifetime and never needed changing. One owner captured the absurdity perfectly. The dealer never changed the CVT fluid because it's lifetime fluid. Yeah, what a joke. My CVT ended up failing from dirty fluid and heat. Subaru eventually acknowledged their error and issued a 10-year, 100,000-mile extended warranty. However, failures outside that coverage window result in $5,000 plus CVT rebuilds or replacements. Not exactly the carefree ownership experience Subaru built its reputation on. The Kia Optima offers plenty of appeal. Stylish design, comfortable interior, abundant features, and competitive pricing. But the transmission tells a different story. Consumer Reports assigned the 2019 Optima a harsh 1 out of 5 score for transmission reliability. The most frequent complaint involves delayed gear engagement. The transmission shifts. But then the car just sits there, engine revving without any forward movement. Kia forum members describe jerky shifts in first through third gears, multiple dealership visits that resolve nothing, and grinding noises that make every acceleration nerve-wracking. Mechanics attribute these problems to faulty solenoids and worn clutch packs, frequently worsened by transmission fluid leaks. Complete transmission replacements regularly exceed $3,500, transforming what seemed like a smart purchase into a financial burden faster than anyone anticipated. Volkswagen's 2019 Jetta arrived with an 8-speed automatic designed for smooth, refined operation. Instead, it became a persistent source of owner frustration. Consumer Reports identified the Jetta as one of the least reliable used cars available, with transmission problems dominating the complaint list. One owner detailed their experience around 50,000 miles. Grinding noise and high RPMs during shifting. First, the valve body got replaced. Then the entire transmission followed, a repair that would have exceeded $10,000 without warranty coverage. Another widespread complaint centers on a persistent growling or grinding noise occurring between 25 and 31 miles per hour. Firmware updates didn't eliminate it. One VW technician admitted testing 15 different 2019 Jettas, and every single one produced the same noise. The 2020 models ran quietly, highlighting that this was a specific model year issue. For anyone considering a 2019 Jetta, transmission problems can surface before 60,000 miles, and the repair costs are genuinely painful. Infiniti aimed to deliver refinement and luxury to the family SUV market with the QX60. What they actually delivered was anxiety and uncertainty. The CVT in the first-generation QX60 earned an abysmal 1 out of 5 reliability rating from Consumer Reports. Owner forums overflow with complaints, with one discussion thread summarizing the situation. It's a pretty bad problem. I can tell you from ownership experience, it does add a little anxiety. Someday it will fail, and when it fails, it's catastrophic. Infiniti eventually extended the transmission warranty to 10 years or 100,000 miles and issued service bulletins addressing pressure sensor and valve body faults. But owners outside that coverage face CVT rebuilds or replacements costing over $7,000. That's substantial money to spend fixing a luxury vehicle that should have been engineered properly from the start. A manual transmission on a list dominated by problematic automatics? Absolutely. Because the MT82 in the 2011 to 2020 Mustang is genuinely that troublesome. Designed by Getrag and manufactured in China, this 6-speed manual became notorious for harsh shifting, slipping out of gear, shuddering, grinding, and even dangerous sudden downshifts at highway speeds that could lock the rear wheels. The complaints weren't isolated incidents either. A class action lawsuit was filed against Ford alleging serious defects. Owners reported premature wear, increased shift effort, and loud vibrations that ruined the driving experience. V8-powered Mustangs suffered the worst. Ford issued service bulletins and made running changes throughout production, but never truly resolved the core issues. By 2021, they finally switched to a different manual gearbox. Anyone buying a used Mustang from this era should prepare for a transmission that fights back every single shift. The first-generation Chevy Traverse has earned a genuinely terrible reputation for transmission failures. Consumer Reports identified it as one of the vehicles most likely to require transmission rebuilds, citing overheating, slipping gears, and gears that hold excessively long before catastrophic failure. Owner forums contain numerous horror stories: shuddering at highway speeds, lost gears during acceleration, and complete transmission meltdowns. One owner shared their experience. "I've lost second and third gears, RPMs go up, but the car doesn't move. These failures frequently occur before reaching 100,000 miles. Rebuilds or full replacements cost several $1,000s. The Traverse might appear practical for anyone shopping for a used three-row SUV, but that transmission represents a known vulnerability that could cost significantly down the road. The E60 M5 seems irresistible, a 507 horsepower V10 screamer available, used for a fraction of its original price. But there's a clear reason for that affordability, and it's the SMG transmission. The sequential manual gearbox was problematic even when functioning correctly. Stuttering at low speeds, holding gears too long, and randomly losing power were common complaints. On higher mileage examples, conditions deteriorate significantly. Failing synchronizer rings, low hydraulic pressure, fluid leaks, overheating, and electrical problems. Mechanics point to the overly complex hydraulic actuator system as the fundamental weakness. It's an over-engineered design that ages poorly, with repairs easily exceeding $5,000. As parts become increasingly difficult to source, maintaining an SMG-equipped M5 presents challenges most buyers aren't prepared to handle. That V10 sounds incredible, but without a substantial budget dedicated to transmission work, it's probably wiser to appreciate it from a safe distance. Chrysler envisioned the Pacifica as the minivan that would revolutionize the segment. Instead, it became the minivan with one of the worst transmission track records in recent history. Fluid leaks, strange noises, stalling, jerking, and complete transmission failure have been reported, sometimes occurring as early as 20,000 to 30,000 miles. Consumer Reports consistently rated the Pacifica near the bottom for transmission reliability. Some owners describe terrifying limp mode incidents where the van suddenly jolts forward without warning. The underlying causes include software calibration issues in the 9-speed gearbox, leak-prone seals, and erratic shift logic. Chrysler issued recalls and software updates, but many owners continued experiencing problems even after repairs. Anyone shopping for a family vehicle who encounters a cheap Pacifica should understand there's probably a reason for that attractive price, and that reason might result in thousands of dollars in repair costs. This situation is particularly harsh. The Ford Focus and Fiesta appeared to be solid, affordable vehicles, but both concealed a transmission so defective it sparked lawsuits, recalls, and more than 20 technical service bulletins from Ford. The PowerShift dual-clutch transmission used a dry clutch design instead of the wet clutch system most competitors employed. That decision led to excessive wear and a flood of owner complaints: shuddering during acceleration, harsh shifts, gear slipping, and grinding noises. Ford acknowledged the problems and issued recall after recall. They paid out a $30 million lawsuit settlement but never actually redesigned the transmission before discontinuing both vehicles in the US market. Owners report transmissions that overheat, slip out of gear, or completely fail, sometimes before reaching 50,000 miles. Ford eventually extended the warranty to 10 years, or 150,000 miles, but the damage to these models' reputations was already irreversible. If either of these vehicles appears on a used car lot, keep walking. The transmission that nearly single-handedly destroyed an entire manufacturer's reputation. From 2002 through 2017, that's 15 consecutive years, Nissan installed the infamous Jatco CVT in nearly every model they produced. The Altima, Rogue, Sentra, Pathfinder, Murano, Versa, even the Maxima couldn't escape it. For 15 straight years, owners reported identical nightmares: jerking, shuddering, delayed acceleration, overheating, and complete transmission failure, often before 75,000 miles. Consumer Reports consistently rated these Nissan models at the bottom for transmission reliability. Thousands of complaints flooded forums and NHTSA databases. Nissan Rogue owners describe genuinely terrifying moments of hesitation followed by sudden surges, especially when merging onto highways. These are legitimately dangerous situations where the vehicle simply won't respond to throttle input when acceleration is desperately needed. One owner perfectly summarized the Nissan CVT experience. "I have a Nissan with a CVT transmission and have 60,000 miles on the car. The only problem is, it took 3 transmissions to get there. Mechanics identify overheating fluid, stretched drive belts, and degraded valve bodies as primary failure points. Lawsuits followed, warranty extensions followed, but many vehicles still failed outside of coverage, leaving owners facing repair bills exceeding $5,000. The lesson here is crystal clear. Some vehicles just aren't worth the risk, no matter how attractive the price appears up front. These 13 vehicles have proven time and again that their transmissions are ticking time bombs, and when they detonate, they take your wallet with them.